Hello and welcome back to the XRP Vault, where we bring you the most up-to-date and exciting XRP news. We're distributing 10,000 XRP. To those watching, all you have to do is upvote, subscribe, comment XRP is king, and watch the video until the end to be eligible. The winners will be chosen next month and announced on the channel's community page. Guys, this is completely ludicrous and may show that the entire Ripple SEC lawsuit is meaningless. Ripple will be okay regardless of what happens, and XRP will be fine regardless of what happens. I recently made my most major finding in this row, the SEC action, and discovered that the true purpose of this litigation was to displace retail holders. Before you dismiss this as a massive conspiracy idea, guys, I strongly advise you to watch the entire movie because what I'm about to show you is quite intriguing. I'm not a lawyer, but I've spoken with a lot of people about this. So I believe what I'm showing you has some reality to it. Even if it doesn't, it's completely true. If you understand what I'm saying, it will radically change the direction of this case, and it genuinely demonstrates that the case had nothing to do with keeping Ripple from shutting down XRP in the United States. That was not the intended goal in the least. You're going to be astounded when I tell you what the case's intended purpose was. And I am confident that the SEC is well aware of this. So, to begin, let's talk about some assumptions. What are some of the current views on the worst-case scenario? In this case, we are aware that many people feel that if Ripple loses, they will be forced to leave the United States. If Ripple fails, XRP will be unable to be sold in the United States. If Ripple does not work, XRP will be classified as an illicit security. Many countries may even declare it an unlawful security. So, let's deconstruct some of that material and talk about what will actually happen. Guys, first and foremost, let me state that XRP is not now an unlawful security. It currently has no status. Nobody knows whether or not it is a commodity. Nobody knows for certain if it is a security, but the court will decide. What if the court rules that it is a security, guys? It is still not a legally binding security. It is an unregistered security. So, what does that imply? This means that the SEC has not received the Waves XRP registration. What, guys? There are many securities traded in the U.S. that are not SEC registered, thus they are not obliged to register. XRP is now classified as a security in our worst-case scenario. It's not illegal, but it's not registered with the SEC. The SEC's website will explicitly say who is permitted to trade and unregistered securities. When you go there, things really start to become interesting. I'm going to start reading my tweet right away in an attempt to return the discussion to its original topic. However, as I mentioned in a tweet, XRP is a security and would have to be an unregistered security even if the SEC wins this lawsuit. This is because it is currently impossible to register a cryptocurrency with the SEC. In this case, the SEC rules in favor of an unregistered security such as XRP. In that instance, you will only be influenced by retail investors in the United States. So why only us? Every country on the planet has its own set of laws. As a result, we are just discussing the United States here. As a result, retail investors worldwide will continue to be able to use XRP for the time being. If XRP is found to be an unregistered security, only retail investors will be hurt, not institutions or accredited investors. The truth is that institutions and accredited investors are permitted to engage in unregistered securities. Please see here. This data is collected directly from the SEC website and includes a bank, a registered broker-dealer, a state-established and maintained employee benefit program, and a tax-exempt charity organization. A corporate director is someone whose individual or joint net worth exceeds $1 million and whose annual income exceeds $200,000. A trust with assets in excess of $5 million, a type of business not often eligible for credit with investments in excess of $5 million, and so on. It never stops. But what's the point? If the SEC loses this case, all of these people will be able to trade unregistered securities, including XRP. So, what does that imply? This place is on its way, guys. This death scenario for XRP in the US is completely incorrect for Ripple in the country. Even if XRP were an unregistered security in the United States, banks, broker-dealers, people, governments, states, and all other organizations may use it. Only retail holders who are not accredited lose out in this case. They are the only ones who require or the SDC's protection in order to engage in securities, making XRP a registered security. However, there will never be any incentive for Ripple to register XRP. And we'll get into why that is in a bit. However, as I stated at the opening, only retail investors will be impacted. So I want to be clear about it. Ripple will also suffer some small consequences, as they will no longer be allowed to trade retail liquidity in the United States. And, because they permitted XRP to reach the secondary market, which appears to be illegal in the worst-case scenario, they will very certainly have to pay a fine, but this does not constitute XRP an illegal security. It's just not registered. And, as previously said, many different individuals are able to use an unregistered security in line with its whole intended usage. Guys, the important question right now is whether or not this case has a smaller influence than many people believe. Is it only we unaccredited investors who are affected? Guys? If this is true, the entire Ripple SEC lawsuit is a colossal non-event. Yes, it would be terrible if it meant that average investors could no longer use XRP. Do people understand what a VPN is? They try to scare retail out of the asset before the big boys could use it, which would be impossible to execute without creating a massive shakeout. And, guys, I just want to give you a terrific example that JV brought up right here because it's crucial and clearly shows that this may be the case. He tweeted in response to my efforts to discover more about what is going on. My recall of this is somewhat twisted because of how it first occurred to me. However, he claimed to be asking if they could still use it, that is, trade XRP among themselves, between those investors and the recognized institutions he means, and wouldn't that just exclude retail from the mix and go on to argue that the JP Morgan coin is only used by institutions? Kind of like we're hinting at what might happen with XRP not authorized for retail and appears to be meeting JP Morgan's purposes. I don't see why Ripple couldn't do the same, especially since banks are already their major target. This is spot on, gentlemen. JP Morgan is doing the same thing. They're doing commerce between institutions with their token, which is similar to what would happen if XRP were recognized as a registered security. Guys, I still feel that Ripple will win this battle, and nothing has changed. Furthermore, I do not believe XRP is an unregistered security. The worst-case scenario in this position isn't as bad as I'd want to show, and Ripple would be tolerable if it only affected retail investors. XRP is suitable. Additionally, retail investors in the United States could obtain a VPN. So, what about this situation isn't so bad? As a result, I tweeted that this case could end up being a giant nothing burger. All that would happen is that some inexperienced investors who are suddenly terrified to buy XRP would sell it. And they'd be devoured by the institutions that could now transact in it. And since this is related to the whole event, I wanted to show you something. And you'll see this a lot in response to what I'm talking about here. This burger employee tweeted something. The issue is that Ripple would have to promote impending sales weeks ahead of time. OTL will not function if they had to announce sales weeks in advance. And now for the big reveal, gentlemen. That would not be the case because XRP would not be registered with the SEC, allowing accredited investors to use it without reporting to any institutions. Because XRP would never be acknowledged by Ripple, individual investors would be blocked from the market. It would be silly because it would jeopardize the ODL offering, and XRP is known for its quick transaction capabilities. Because they can still use XRP as an unregistered security and perform transactions, neither Ripple's nor the institutions that employ it will register it prior to each transaction. I hope that was clear. And I surely hope that wasn't the case. However, the main point I'm aiming to make is whether or not XRP will suffer if the SEC's claims are successful. Businesses, including banks and retail shops, appear to be allowed to use it as long as they have a VPN. But, as I previously stated, since I am not a lawyer, it only seems fair that I present one opposing position before concluding this film. I'm not sure if I made any incorrect assumptions in this instance. And I believe it's critical that I show you this. So you're not going to accept it. Assume that everything I say here is true because I am not a lawyer. I'm not certain, but I believe I made a huge error. In response, Jesse Hyam noted that it would be essential to prove that XRP was not given falsely as a security. As he sees it, if it is discovered that XRP was illegally sold as a security, it wouldn't make a difference if it wasn't registered. Institutions would be unable to handle it, making it virtually impenetrable. Gentlemen, I hope this helps put what I said into context. Much of what I said was presumptively predicated on the assumption that it was an unregistered security rather than an illegal security. Clearly, securities laws are exceedingly complex. Just wanted to clarify, but if it's not against the law, I think the rest of what I said makes sense. I truly hope you enjoyed watching this video. Please remember to like and subscribe.